Good morning, madam. This is my presentation for History 703, a major research project on the topic, on the theme on migration, culture, and identity. The topic of my research is cultural role of traditional music in Malaita, Solomon Islands. On the fourth slide, um, it's the brief overview of Malaita, Solomon Islands. Malaita sits in the southern western Pacific as part of Solomon Islands. This volcanic landmass lies roughly 50 kilometers northeast of Guadalcanal across the indispensable strait. It stretches about 185 kilometers long with a maximum width of 35 kilometers at its broadest section. Dense forests blanket much of the terrain, while rugged mountains dominate the interior. The highest peak reaches 1438 meters at Mount Ayr near the island center. Local Melanesian communities maintain distinct cultural practices across various social spheres. One notable tradition involves ceremony produced at Langalanga Lagoon. Artisans craft these intricate pieces, which serves as customary currency not just locally but throughout Solomon Islands. The provincial capital and largest urban center is Auki. On the sixth slide, um, what is traditional music in this context? Traditional music in Malaita refers to the indigenous, oral, and fiction and functional music practices passed down through generations. It is closely tied to rituals, identity, and community life. These include the panpipe music, which represent a unique blend of traditional and modern influences. Solomon Island music has always leaned on voices a lot. They use percussion, panpipes, and flutes. Women, especially around Malaita and Isabel, sing soft lullabies while they gently tap little bamboo sticks against flat river stones. To create harmonic effect, men Jewish harps using their mouths and a thorn plant fiber now called as plastic fishing line. Here on the next slide, we have the background of traditional music in Malaita Solomon Islands. People still mentioned those early electronic recordings of traditional music from Solomon Islands. George Milner did the first ones. He worked at the School of African and Oriental Studies, University of London in 1952. He stayed there for 6 months and captured the language and music from sports like Malaita, Ranel, and Bellona, Lord Howe, and the Western Solomons. Later on in 1969 and 1970, ethnomusicologists Hugo Tam took charge of a team. They came from the French Center for Scientific Research. The group recorded traditional tunes on Ontong Java, Malaita, Guadalcanal, and Zoba. One of these recordings turned out infamous. It was a Biagu lullaby. The band Deep Forest grabbed it without any compensation. That sparked international probes into indigenous intellectual property rights. A reference from ZAMP of 1971, 1972, together with 1996. On the next slide are the function of traditional music in cultural life of people of Malaita. The Solomon really stand out in the Pacific Islands, whereby traditional music there is polyphonic. Music making usually went right along with dancing, and dancing came with most musical events. It tied into ancestral religion and cultural celebration, things like mortuary festival, Both men and women got involved into the dancing and music. Dancing came with most musical events. Some Christian denominations discouraged dancing, though they saw a connection to the indigenous religion. Dances and songs from the Solomon Islands really show who people are and where they come from. They pass down genealogy, culture, and those deep connections.
Uh-uh.
Here on the next slide, we have the traditional musical instruments are used in Malaita in the Solomon Islands. The first one are the bamboo pipes, bagpipes, played in Are Are in the southern region of Malaita Island. It is called Au in Are Are, which means bamboo in their language. It is traditionally played by men for enjoyment during a feast after customary rituals. The internal suitability of the pitch in one integrated ensemble is an indicator of its identity, individuality, and efficacy. It is believed that blood and talent is inherited in making and playing owl for the ancestors. It is a major style Melanesian popular music which is called string band. The bamboo panpipes have strengthened the connection between the local and the global markets of popular music.
Mm-mm.
Next on the slide, we have the bamboo bundle panpipe. In Malay, the term is known as susuku. It is mostly played by Fataleka and by Gupe peoples. The music is influenced by the traditional religious beliefs before the conversion to Christianity. Okay, comprises of songs of mayom or funeral rituals, weaved together in panpipes with clapping sticks and choir, singing with closed mouths in polyphonic harmonies. In other ceremonial songs, dancers become musicians with rattles on their ankles, stomping the ground to create a striking a beat. Women play a prominent role on the album, singing and playing a two-string bamboo bow. Then we have the next slide on performance of bamboo panpipes. These are some of the examples of groups of panpipers. For example, the Fataleka and Beagu people, together with a group of Narasirato. In the next slide, we have the four categories of panpime ensembles. The first one is Au. Okay, the most important is the Au. Elixir used to describe a number of symmetric fields. Au signifies bamboo, okay, a musical instrument made from bamboo, and subsequently all musical instruments that produce melody. It uh, it describes the instrumental music made with bamboo instrument, and more specifically the music of and panpipe ensembles. Mani au, mani meaning piece of, which means piece of music. And then we have the second category, which is mani, is just simply a piece of a slide drum. And then we have the next one, which is nuuha, okay, which means a song, and is a compound of nuhu, to sing, and ha, which is nominalizing or making a noun from a verb. And then we have the last one, the last category, which is kiroha. It's primarily the sound of hands beating on water or the movement of hands underwater. It is a critically deep sound and is sometimes used to describe other deep sounds, like that of the large pipes in the au kiro, meaning a group of instruments. In conclusion, cultural music of Malay in the Solomon Islands is one of the main elements that contribute to the survival of culture, keeping the knowledge alive and maintaining the unity of society. Music of this kind really is the base of social, religious, and ritual life in the Malayitan communities. And it is a reflection of their morals, past and relationship with the earth and the dead ones. Every time through songs, chants, and playing musical instrument, traditional music act as one of the ways of passing on the stories, and the teaching of one young generations beside celebration of life events such as births, initiation, marriages, and deaths. Along with that, traditional music develop a strong connection among the community members and shared feeling of being part of the group. This type of music, besides uh, being a powerful means of entertainment, is a living tradition that keeps the community of indigenous knowledge systems alive. The cultural, the traditional music of Malaita has been and will still be strong and powerful symbol of the people's cultural resilience and pride, even after all the influences of globalization and modern times. Therefore, its protection and revival are very crucial for the survival of Malayan people's cultural heritage and identity. Briefly, traditional music of Malaita is an artistic creation of the human world, of that human mind, of that culture, and at the same time, it is a major element of the culture's existence and survival. It is thus an expression which deserves to be recognized, respected, and protected. Yeah, and then the second last slide, I have the references. These are some of the notes from some of the journals that I have looked into. Just three references. First one was regarding bamboo pipes and good for chamber samoto. And then we have the next two, which they are from the same author of Mr. Hugo Zell. Thank you, madam. That's the end of my presentation today.